going on, guys? In today's video we are going to talk all about bread. Wheat bread versus white bread. What's the difference? We always hear that wheat bread is the better choice to go with, and I wouldn't disagree. In a lot of circumstances, wheat bread does have, more beneficial properties to it, and it would be a better choice to go with. But I would also say that in other circumstances, the white bread would be a better choice. In today's video, we're just going to quickly run through each type of bread, break them down, compare the two, see if there's really even that much of a difference, and then go through some different scenarios where one bread might be a slightly better choice than the other one. Now let's head into the store and grab our bread. So here we are back in the lab in front of this lovely painting of Santa Monica. So what I got? First thing is I got the Sara Lee 100% whole wheat bread. I just got the basic whole wheat bread, none of the other fancier bread that has like the added omega-3s or the added protein or anything like that. Just the basics. And then to keep things consistent, I got the same brand, so Sara Lee, of the classic white. When we go through and kind of break down each one, and I'll see if I can pull up a nutrition facts label just to pop up there on the screen. But when we go through each one, we see that according to the labels, that the calories in each, the wheat bread has 60 calories per slice, the white bread has 70 calories per slice, so the white has a little bit more calories. Total fat in the wheat is half a gram, 1 gram in the white. Protein is 4 in the wheat, 2 in the white. And then carbs are 11 in the wheat and 14 in the white. Macronutrient differences, there's really not a whole lot. I mean, the wheat's got a tiny bit more protein. The white has a tiny bit more on the carb side and an extra 10 calories. But in the end, there's really not a huge difference calorie or macronutrient-wise. Fiber-wise, the wheat has 2 grams of fiber per slice, and the white doesn't have any fiber. And then when we look at the micronutrients, when we look at the vitamins and the minerals, we see that actually the white bread, it actually has more of all these vitamins except for the calcium. That's just because typically today a lot of white breads are made from enriched flour. And that's just essentially, enriched flour just means that the vitamins or minerals that are naturally found in the food, they become lost during the processing of that food. It means these vitamins, these minerals are just added back in after the food has been processed. That's typically how a lot of like white breads or white floured foods are made. I'm not going to go into the specifics of all the individual ingredients in each, like the preservatives or the different sweeteners. And that's just because each brand is going to use different ingredients, and that's not really the main focus of this video. So now that we've gone through both of the breads and compared them, let's touch on a couple things we found. The first of these is the common misconception that white bread or white floured foods don't contain any vitamins and minerals. We saw that as long as the product or the bread is made with enriched flour, then it actually contains just as many, if not sometimes more, of vitamins and minerals that are found naturally occurring in that food. And then another thing we found is the fiber difference. So yes, the whole wheat bread absolutely had more fiber. It had 2 grams per serving where the white bread didn't have any. And fiber is good for a lot of things. It's good for cleaning out our digestive system. It's good for filling us up and keeping us fuller longer on lower calorie diets. But just like a lot of other things, consuming extra fiber isn't necessarily a good thing. If we are already consuming enough fiber for our body that our body needs, just consuming more fiber on top of that can actually lead to a number of negative side effects, including bloating, constipation, and it can even prevent our body from absorbing other nutrients. And then the third thing I want to touch on is just the difference in the glycemic index rating that we commonly hear about between the two. The glycemic index is essentially just a rating system that rates foods based on how fast our body digests and absorbs them and how quickly those foods increase our blood glucose levels. Essentially, foods that get digested and absorbed faster and increase blood glucose levels faster get a higher number on that scale. According to Harvard Health Publications, On average, the glycemic index rating for whole wheat bread is 69, and then for white bread, it's 75. And depending on which source you use to get your ratings from, the numbers might vary slightly, but regardless, we can see that the difference between the two really isn't a whole lot. And not to mention that the glycemic index isn't necessarily the best tool for gauging real life scenarios by anyways, but that's for a different video. So as we can see, when we really break down and look at each of the different breads, there really isn't a whole lot of difference between the two. However, there are some differences which might make one better in one situation and the other better in a different situation. So an example of a scenario where wheat bread might be a better choice would be if you're dieting, your calories are lower, you aren't consuming a lot of fiber from other food sources, you're hungrier, and you want a food that's going to do a better job of filling you up and keeping you full for a little bit longer. And then one example where the white bread actually might be a better choice would be if you're consuming a high fiber meal or a high fiber diet, and consuming any more fiber on top of that would just result in some of those negative symptoms we talked about, like the bloatedness or the gassiness. An example of this might be if you're going through a bulking or a gaining phase and you need those extra calories, you need those extra carbs, but not all the fiber that comes along with the whole wheat version. We can see that in this scenario, how the white bread would probably be a better choice. There are a number of different scenarios for each option, but I think this gets the point across that one isn't necessarily better than the other, but rather that it really depends on the context of the specific situation. And then one last thing I want to mention before we wrap this video up is that this video is literally just a comparison of breads. I'm not saying that those who choose to avoid bread should start eating it, and I'm definitely not saying those who have a medical condition which prohibits them from consuming bread should start eating it. Sarah Lee, she didn't pay me to make this video, and I definitely didn't make this video to start promoting the bread industry. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with a friend so we can help get this information out to more people. I'll see you guys in the next video.